A Republican from a deep red state, a state that Donald Trump won by a whopping 44 points, just tried to defend Elon Musk from a town hall stage, and it did not go well. I have the breaking story coming up next. Some Republicans are avoiding these town halls altogether because voters are getting more demanding. Instead of calling them frustrated constituents, they dismiss them as Democrat plants. And despite the warning signs, some Republicans still try to defend the indefensible and quickly regret it. In just a minute, you'll see a Republican get booed off the stage in a solid red state. But first, let's look at other town hall moments that are instant classics. This clip from Maine comes with a twist because Republican Senator Susan Collins didn't show up, but the room was still packed with voters calling her out for answers, and that's followed by a voter making some serious noise in Washington.
I'm a veteran, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a very concerned constituent. My question for you is very similar to so many people have asked you tonight. Where have you been? When Trump and Vance ambushed our ally in the Oval Office in favor of our adversary, Putin, where the hell were you? When Trump threatened our governor to cut off funding for our children, my children, where the hell were you? I thought Congress held the purse strings. I thought you chaired the board that holds the purse strings. Where the hell were you?
The things that frighten me is the way this insane president talks about Canada as a 51st state. Yeah. Taking Panama by force and buying Greenland. Yeah. How does this person qualify as sane? Why is he not being impeached right now?
But wait, there's more. Nebraska, a bona fide red state, also had something to say. Have a look, and on the other side, I'll have that Republican getting absolutely hammered in one of the reddest states in the country.
Okay, let's talk about this.
What makes you think that has no conflict of interest, that he has no conflict of interest? Do you think he would cut that before he would cut our Medicare or our Social Security or our jobs?
I support Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency.
And that brings us to our breaking story. A Wyoming town hall was the scene, and I'll let the Morning Joe team set it up. Watch as they have some fun with the Republican narrative that disruptors are paid for and bust into these events, and then Joe takes a very funny shot at Democrats.
Republican Congresswoman Harriet Hageman of deep red Wyoming faced a rowdy crowd during a town hall last night.
Yeah, but Wyoming's a very progressive state.
Yeah.
So
hard to bust people into it. Hard to bust people in. Democrats not organized enough to bust a lot of people into Wyoming. No. That's a pretty
brain and bust.
She's out in the middle of nowhere, Harriet.
They're not organized enough to get sandwich orders right at like a 7-person picnic.
Be nice to the Democrats, with some of the loudest reaction coming when Hageman spoke about her support for Doge.
Dismantling Social Security. And even with reconciliation, we are not allowed to touch Social Security. The work that I have specifically been doing, I am on the Judiciary Committee and the Natural Resources Committee. It's so bizarre to me how obsessed you are with federal government. But here's the thing. You guys are going to have a heart attack if you don't calm down. I'm sorry. sorry. Your hysteria is just really over the top.
How invalidating. Don't do that.
How liberal is Wyoming?
No
kind of
state in the
bluish?
union, and there are 50 of them.
Yeah.
The last check.
50.
Gave more of its vote as a percentage
51.
to Donald Trump than did Wyoming.
Really?
71% for Donald Trump, something around 70 last time around.
Wow.
When you're telling your voters to calm down,
And that they're
you
hysterical.
may not be winning.
And don't be hysterical.
Hysterical. You're calling your voters hysterical.
Yeah, good luck in a couple
Hey,
of
everyone just sit down and shut up for a second. I have some things to say.
I don't agree.
But we're seeing this again and
with
again.
what's going to happen to you?
Where these Republican congressmen and women are standing in a room across from their voters, as you did a million times, and taking the side of Elon Musk, saying, I support Doge, I support Elon Musk, over what you're telling me right now. It's extraordinary.
I'm telling you, there's nothing that your constituents like more than when you show independence and you say, as I did, I disagree with Bill Clinton here, and here. It's not good for you. I disagree with Newt Gingrich and Bob Dole and Republicans in all of these different places. I mean, if it's all about helping constituents, this is actually an easy call, and you actually can stand up to Elon Musk.
The intellectual honesty that Joe talks about is long gone. That's because Republicans fear Elon Musk and Donald Trump. One controls the money, the other controls the power, and both have threatened to push them out of the party and end their careers. Many voters know that politicians lie to them. But in deep red states, they didn't mind when those lies were wrapped in themes of anti-establishment and white nationalism. But now the stakes are real. With rising cost and lost benefits and services due to Doge, they're finally waking up and speaking up. And of course, many Democrat voters have been doing their part in sounding the alarm, but many still remain on the sidelines. Maybe they feel powerless because the party often appears powerless. To that point, I'll give a known fighter the final word. Enter Governor Pritzker of Illinois, encouraging us to stand up, be heard, and fight the good fight.
What we do have is our voices in local communities and the stories that we can tell about the devastation that is occurring. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's so much work. But you know what? 202-224-3121. 202-456-1111, that's the White House. Local town halls, whether it's a Zoom town hall or an in-person town hall. And in the absence of all of that, getting your friends together and having an actual protest in front of a congressperson's office, or just in downtown Urbana, or some other place.
March 29th.
There you go. I mean, I honestly know that this is, it's hyper unusual that we all have to think about that as the way to get our voices heard. But clearly our voices here in Illinois and across the country are not being heard. That the damage that they're doing is not being understood. But I will tell you that when veterans are showing up, and they are, and talking about what's happening to their services at the VA, that matters to a congressperson, that matters to a senator. And when fresh food isn't getting to pantries and people aren't able to survive because they are food insecure, and now more so, that matters. It matters, and having those voices heard matters. So stand up, speak out.